You're still watching this? Don't you have anything better to do? I don't, because I'm still here talking about it. You're watching Nobodies Watching Wrestling! Woo! We're back again with our special guest, RJ City. You know him from wrestling, Twitter, and talking a lot about Ethel Merman. And he's got another match to discuss. RJ, tell us what the match is and why you picked it.
You know, the microphone is designed to amplify your voice. So
Oh,
you don't
no.
necessarily need to scream into it. We're watching a selection from my personal collection. It's the Bushwackers, Luke and Butch, and they're facing the Psycho Twins, who are Steve Urkel and Carl Winslow.
Reginald Van, what's his name?
Reginald
Johnson.
Vell Johnson.
Vell Johnson.
Yeah, Vell, not a Van. Van was done at that point.
Reginald Vell Johnson.
We're back to Vells.
Vell.
Rob Vell Dam.
So you picked...
Yes.
You picked an episode of Family Matters to
Yes.
show us,
Yes.
or at least a clip from Family Matters,
Right.
and I really want to dig into that.
What's your favorite 90s sitcom?
Oh, wow. I do like Wings. We were talking about it, and other than Taxi, I would say it was the most attractive ensemble sitcom cast.
Wait, you're putting...
Tony Shalhoub?
Yeah, and that was peak Shalhoub, though. You got Thomas Hayden Church.
Shalhoub.
Thomas Hayden Church
Yeah,
is very
well,
attractive.
handsome, very handsome.
Stephen Weber.
That blonde lady
keep
that
up
did
with
country
any of
music.
this.
Yes. Yes. Who else? The guy who played Lowell? No, not Lowell. The guy who played the burly fellow with the mustache.
I do not
Oh,
remember.
dear Lord.
I'm sorry, I have to rewind to where you said that the most attractive sitcom cast was Taxi.
Yeah. Oh, come on. Jeff Conaway, Pete Conaway, Tony Dan. Look, the crew is nodding behind the camera. That's how accurate this is. Mary Lou Henner, who was apparently on a sexual rampage, according to her autobiography. Across the cast.
Wow.
Christopher Lloyd is as hot as Christopher Lloyd was going to look. That's for sure. So is Andy Kaufman and even Danny DeVito. Not too shy. Oh, my God. And Carol Kane. The list goes
I know her.
on. Dear Lord.
Family Matters, though, huh?
Family Matters.
So I had to clarify initially, the Bushwackers are real wrestlers.
They are?
Not only are they real wrestlers, but I wrestled Luke about 3 years ago.
Did you ask him about this, Matt?
No, I totally
What?
forgot.
Man.
I was too busy navigating the match because he said, hey, I'm going to hit you with a left clothesline because my right arm doesn't work.
Same.
Wow.
Yeah.
Full Laura Palmer.
Yeah.
I am shocked that you continued wrestling after hearing someone say that.
Right. Well,
That would be the moment where I was like, I'm in the wrong profession. I've got to go immediately.
I can't wrestle this guy. He doesn't work.
Like, both of my arms work right now, and apparently that's not a guarantee for the future, so I'm just going to bounce. Like,
Right.
that's...
And then I had to talk him down. He would be like, well, why don't you give me a spine buster? I'm like, no, because your gut is out to here, and I'm going to pull my back out.
And your arm doesn't work.
And your arm doesn't
You
work,
need to
sir.
keep the working parts in order, kiddo.
How do you play arcade games, man?
Why this match?
The Power Glove.
It's something
Match,
that's
we say.
stuck out in my mind as it's just weird. It makes no sense, obviously, wrestling-wise. Also, in a sitcom sense.
Did the Bushwhackers really walk to the ring with the weird arm movement?
Always.
I mean,
That
not
was
anymore
so
because
fun.
the arm doesn't work.
Right.
but-
Right. He definitely does this one, though.
Oh,
Whoa, yeah. And they used to do that horrible thing where they would lick the faces and heads of fans.
Oh, that
They
was
did
what they were
that.
doing to that girl in the audience.
And they had
that
to
girl looked like a wrestler.
Yeah, and probably a local gal who's
I
trying to
loved
get
her.
into the business until the fabulous Moolah said, "Get out."
She said a few other
She
things
was
too.
she was very much the older Lucille Ball of professional wrestling. At any rate, the Bushwhackers had to stop licking faces and heads after they contracted some sort of terrible disease.
Is that true?
Yeah, as you can imagine, they're legit.
Licking strangers.
I wouldn't even trust a wrestling fan to hold my coat. I don't know about you licking their faces.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So, and
I
then
gotta
of
stop
course,
licking people.
Steve and Carl, some hijinks happen where the other team backs out and they enter to be this team, and they're all of a sudden the Psycho Twins, and they come out in these straitjackets.
Their
I like
looks are
the-
on
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, I
Right?
like the fetish
So
nurses
good.
for obvious reasons.
And I loved any scene where Urkel and Mr. Winslow were together.
Yeah.
Just
And
comedy gold.
It's so nice that you're formal with Carl.
Yeah.
That you
He would not let me call him Carl.
But
He's
it's
an
sweet
officer of
you
the law.
to give him that deference
yeah.
and respect.
I have a
Yeah.
question.
Yes.
I've never watched Family Matters in my entire life.
TJF every week, man.
What?
Step by step.
No, let's go back from the beginning. Originally,
What's the concept?
are you
of the
familiar with
show?
Perfect Strangers, the TV show?
Mm-hmm.
Balky,
wow.
the wonderful Bronson Pink show, and Mark Lynn Baker. Gee, maybe the people behind the camera should be sitting here.
Look, I
because
know-
they seem to be the only ones engaging with me.
Wrestling and horror and gay
Perfect
shit.
Strangers. Sometimes the world looks perfect. Now you're gonna get sued by.
Somebody's remaking that show.
Yes. So anyway,
Ariel.
Harriet Winslow worked the elevator in the building, and this was a spin-off sitcom for her.
Oh, it was.
Right? It was supposed to be her vehicle, yet the wacky next-door neighbor, who was only a brief character, was Steve Urkel,
It was supposed
blew
to be
up.
one episode.
Urkelmania, Harriet Winslow gets so mad that she stormed off the final season of the show, and they had to pull an Aunt Viv, where they just replaced her, and nobody said shit. Yeah.
I didn't realize. I didn't get to the last season, I guess.
Yeah, well, no one.
Neither did she.
What is
It's like when
Urkel's
Marissa
deal?
died from the OC.
As a character,
Yeah, like I don't get it.
He's a nerd.
they kept
That's it.
the public pushed the show to get wackier and wackier because he was so wacky and he was such a strong character, similar to Jonathan Harris in Lost in Space. Maybe you can ask your parents; they'll be able to
No,
tell
I've
you.
seen Lost in Space.
Okay, the movie with Matt LeBlanc or the
No,
actual?
I have seen that too, but and it was
Netflix
not good.
series?
Oh, that too.
No,
the
I saw
wonderful Parker Posey.
the original. He was a mean gay scientist.
Posey. That's the
That's
one.
the one.
All right.
That's the one.
I'll
She
send
will-
I'll send a text
She'll
after
be
this.
weirder than you.
Yeah. Oh.
She's probably dancing somewhere right now.
Dear Lord. At any rate, so it kept getting weirder and weirder, and they did wackier and wackier things with Steve
Yeah.
because he was so crazy, but it was so merch heavy. They had an Urkel doll and blah blah blah. There's an episode where he gets drunk and falls off a roof.
He gets drunk?
Yeah, and it's such a
very
serious
special
episode, and you know it's a special episode because they don't have applause at the end when the credits go. He like falls off the roof and everyone goes, and then it's like produced by, and you're like, oh, like they really mean it this time.
They did like school shooting episode on that show
What?
too. Yeah.
But then they also did one where
Carl Winslow is a cop.
Urkel goes into this Jeff Goldblum in The Fly type of machine, and he comes out as Stefan, this hot alter ego, and everyone wants him because he's just acting normally.
Because Jalil White was even sick of Urkel.
Right. And,
Well,
you know, you can't.
You'd seem like you would get sick of that.
especially when you're trying to, you know, you
Hit
pick
it.
up. Yeah.
Hit it.
You know, Stefan was his way of like, can I get one blowjob, please?
I hated that because what's the daughter's name? Laura?
Laura.
Laura was in love with Stefan, but
Yeah.
could not bear her to like love Steven.
What a horrible person.
Steve.
To be fair, it would be hard to be in the same room as Steve Urkel because he is grating.
He's the kind of person who would like yell into a microphone.
Yeah. See, we've discussed how few men have been in their underwear in this apartment. It's a small number.
Wait, do you yell into their underwear?
If they ask nice.
Oh, remember that? Remember that scene in Short Bus where the dude's like singing the Star Spangled Banner into the other dude's ass?
I do remember that.
So good.
It's burned in my
John
brain.
Cameron
Lost.
Mitchell, genius of our time.
Now, I will say the technical wrestling is not very good. Seems to be a little all over the place. But they do that great thing, and I steal it all the time, where they do a move, and then they're able to talk. And I'm like, why don't wrestlers talk during their matches?
You don't talk anymore. Just turn. to
Seriously,
someone and be like, you don't talk.
what's going? They always do a tag team already knows what tag team move they're gonna do.
Do you know what I think about a lot? I saw this when I started doing commentary when wrestlers are doing entrances and they're like, there's a camera on them. They're usually lip syncing. They're not even saying anything.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Or like do it when, like, if you're a heel and you're angry. Yeah, they're just not saying anything.
You're not
That's
saying
wild.
No, not really. I'm saying one thing and then adding a bunch of.
What do you usually say?
Oh, I usually go to the ref and I say, I used to have a career. I'm on a show that's syndicated in 100 countries. What am I doing here?
Really? Are you?
Yeah, it was a kids show.
What?
Yeah, nobody knew this.
What?
Did you not print out the
No.
resume?
Wait, Go on.
You're assuming I have a printer, and you are incorrect.
You do have a printer, and I use it all the time.
It was a
No,
show
it's out of
called-
ink.
it was-
Damn it.
I'm trying to plug myself here. It was a show called Splat-A-Lot, and it was like Wipeout, but for kids. And I defended the castle, and to no one's surprise, I hurled insults at children.
You were an adult on the
Splat-
kids
I was
show?
an adult. Yeah.
Was this a Canadian kids show?
It was Canadian, but it was so it was there, BBC Australia, and then Nickelodeon bought it and burned through it for a summer, and never spoke of it again.
Do you still get royalty checks, bitch?
No, because it wasn't union. I'm like the Power Rangers here, syndicated,
shit.
and what do I have to show for it? It's not syndicated in my wallet. What's the point?
What a shame.
Just because they wash me in Bangladesh. Gee, that's great.
Wow.
If only you got that Urkel money.
Oh yeah, and he's having a good time, Michael.
Jaleel White?
Jaleel?
Jaleel White.
Yeah.
Is he still with us?
Yeah, but I think Reginald is dead.
Oh,
So I want to bring the
What?
room down because
you're literally just trying to make me cry.
I'm just saying, Reginald Vell.
This whole time,
He's an
the
ex-Vel Johnson.
RJ has been in this room. It's been a mission to make me cry.
It's not that tough.
It's really easy.
It's true.
Yeah, watch this. Nora Dunn.
What? She's not dead, is she?
No, I'm just saying her name. I thought you would be moved by appreciating who she
Oh my
was.
God.
Oh no!
Bearica was so worried about Nora Dunn's well-being for a moment there. You can't just
Well,
list.
earlier you said Jan Hooks, and they had a famous
Yeah.
bit together, and so I just put them in the.
Yeah.
in the same cat. Everyone, I feel like we gotta wrap this up, or Bearica's not gonna make it.
Do you have final thoughts about Urkel and Psycho, whatever?
Yeah, it's a fun episode.
It's a
It's
fun
certainly the
episode.
Bushwackers' greatest sitcom role.
And poor Harriet.
Yeah, and easily Reginald Vell Johnson's best match.
Thank you so much for watching. I'm not sure how much of this will be edited out. Probably all of it. It's just gonna be an
Probably
intro
none
and then
of
a
it.
goodbye. So goodbye.
Goodbye.
See you.